Okay. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight on this cold Sunday. I don't know if it's freezing where you are, but here in Arkansas it's in the low 20s. And I know a lot have experienced snow through the Midwest. And it's Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, so we have a lot of teammates that couldn't hop on tonight because they are traveling and doing family things tonight. And then the football championship games are on. It's on in the next room. It's been on all day. Friends have been over. It's just a crazy day. So I'm so thankful for the group of you that jumped on. It shows your commitment to your business in the convention contest. And I'm thrilled that Kyndel and Natasha have joined us tonight. They are emeralds as well with Plexus, and they started near when I did, a little bit after, but they're kind of going to share some of their story, and I think it will resonate with you because they've been in the trenches just like you guys have been for the past 3 or 4 years and experienced the ups and downs. But if you've noticed, in the past 3 or 4 months, their names are showing up on Tamara's leaderboards. They've rebooted and relaunched their businesses and are just influencing and inspiring their team, as well as changing lives of new customers and business partners. And so stories are where we relate. And so I wanted you to hear their story because I know you will find a part of you in their journey as well. So this is super casual, Kyndel and Natasha. I just have a series of questions, just kind of interview style, and y'all feel free to hop in and bounce off of each other and just share with us your story of activity. I know you have just kind of found, been inspired to be more active in creating new habits. So the first question I have is, when you originally signed up, what made you decide to go all in? Was it the products? Was it the business? Natasha, I know you fast started gold, which is incredible. So I know you went in really quick. So we would love to hear what made you go all in initially.
Well, I've always told Kyndel I owe my successes except her, because from the beginning, and that's one thing I have learned as a leader, is because she's always casted the vision over me and the beliefs and kind of rooted in me, because in the beginning, like when she was like, I think you can get 20 people in your first 30 days, I literally laughed. But she always believed in myself. And so I guess from the beginning, I will say that Kyndel contributed to a lot of my success, but more so she was super hands-on. Like, she helped me when I talked to people. And so when I joined, okay, so confession, I got married at the courthouse. I don't even think we have a picture from that. And so I always just wanted to have a wedding. And so when I joined originally, I was like, I just need enough to make my products covered and potentially have a wedding. And so when I joined originally, my goal wasn't to like make this a career. It was more so, okay, let me get my products covered once so my husband doesn't kill me because we're broke, like very broke. I think it left like $50 in my bank account, and I was like, okay, well, I'm living on ramen noodles for the next week and a half, but we're going to do this. And then it was also, I don't know, I just wanted to do something for myself, and Kyndel always believed in me. So that was kind of my thing. And I know Kyndel's was a little different, so if she wants to share kind of how she jumped in, I know our story varies in that.
Yeah, our stories are different because Tasha like fast started and was like wild out of the gates. And I'll be honest with you all, I joined, had watched my friend Megan Garrity share about Plexus for 6 months. We actually met in a life group at our church, and I was the girl who told her she was crazy and why in the world was she doing this. But we have been praying for a lot for our family, and we've been praying for some stuff to help with my health. I was going through postpartum depression and anxiety. But we were also looking for something for our finances. My husband has a great job. And at the time we had just moved with his first promotion, and I had quit my job teaching. And it took a whole chunk out of our budget that we were used to having, that with his promotion, we really did not supplement the whole income. And so we had racked up about $10,000 in medical debt that year. And that's what I needed to make and pay off. I was cashing in savings bonds. I don't know if any of you all have gotten savings bonds from like your grandparents growing up, but that's what I remember sitting in our closet, pulling those out. We had like a safe in our closet, pulling those out to figure out how much money I could get out of them to pay what we needed to pay that month. And so that's why I started, was because we needed to make that extra income and I needed to feel better as a mom. And I'll be honest with you all, I thought at the time my journey went fast. Like I thought I was like zooming through the stuff. And let me tell you, it took me 5 weeks to go gold or silver, not gold, silver, when Tasha, it took her 5 weeks to add like 50 people to her team. So our stories are very different. But I will say this. From the minute I got on the phone with Nicole Kinsler, and I'm sure all of you all know Nicole, I did a 3-way call with her and Megan, and they poured belief into me. And I got off that call and I told my husband, I said, one day I'm going to be an Emerald Ambassador. And that was like the first week. And I said that every single day. And so you have to like put that in your head. You have to keep telling yourself, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, until you believe one day that it's actually going to happen. I might not have believed it the first day. It was a wish, but it soon became a belief. And as you pour that into yourself and you make yourself believe that, and then anything can happen. And I think that's something too I did with Tasha, was I told her every single day, like, you're going to do this and we're going to be Emerald together and we're going to Hawaii, and just get ready. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it took me 7 months to add her to my team. And in that time I was, what was I, senior gold by the time she joined, or right at the time she joined, I went senior gold. But every day I was like, we're doing this. And she was my running buddy. From the day she started, we ran together, and it's been so much fun.
I'm muted. Plexus is so much fun when you have a running buddy. I know my first business partner, I was gold when she joined me, and it just completely changed my perspective on moving forward. And I just had that constant encouragement and running buddy with her. So I totally understand where you're coming from, Kyndel. So as your business started to grow and as you started to realize that this is actually happening, what made you most excited as your businesses started to take off?
No, do you want to go first or me? Okay. So as my business took off, so as I said, I just want to get my products covered, but I'm the type of person, I take one goal at a time. So I was like, okay, how do I get silver? And I went silver in a week. And I was like, what do I do to go gold? And I kind of took it one step at a time. But when Kyndel reached out to me, I was like chugging coffee daily. And I worked at a job for an insurance company that I literally hated. I brought home with me. I was super depressed. And so I think with my business, as I saw the money coming in, it got to a point that I was like, I'm making like the same thing that I am working full time. And so it did give me hope, because I will say I was someone skeptical with network marketing, because I always have people reaching out to me that address me in the sense of, you know, join the team, you'd be so good, you would make this much money, versus, and by that, I will say I have learned that when I talk to people about the business, I tell them why they would be good, but I also let them know that we will do this together. It's more of, let's do this and we can, I don't know, I try to empower them more so than tell them all the money they can make, because I don't want them to think I look at them as someone that's going to just bring me all this money, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want them to think I look at them and think, oh, if I could get them onto my team, they have this great network. And so it really excited me as I saw the money coming in. I was taking it one step at a time, that I realized at that point that it was more so the harder I worked and the more people I helped, the more money I was going to make. So that's kind of what excited me, I guess you can say.
So I'll say for me, I think hitting silver was a big point for me. And I know we say this all the time. You get a team member to silver and they're going to stay around even longer.
Okay,
Well, that
towards My door then.
That silver check for me, I remember standing in our kitchen just jumping down. I had been a teacher before, and I hadn't been teaching for about a year and a half when I started Plexus. And so to be able to bring that income into my family, that $100 into my family, was a huge deal for me. It was really exciting. And so that was huge. I mean, the money income was awesome. But the other thing, you all, and I'll tell you all this, was, and know this because there's people out there who are just like me, the friendships, you all, were huge, because even more so than the money. I was a mom at home with 2 little kids. I had isolated myself from everybody else. Like I said, I was going through postpartum depression and anxiety. And I was reconnecting with people from my life that I hadn't talked to in years. And getting to meet these new incredible women that were empowering me and were lifting me up and were cheering me on. And those friendships and that community is really what helped lifted me up, to give me that excitement and that encouragement to keep moving and to keep going forward. And yes, the money is amazing, but you all, that community that you can be a part of is it's just incredible. It's something you can't find anywhere else. And so those 2 things together are really what helped from the beginning just move me forward, to be excited about the future with Plexus.
I love that your answers were different, because we're all different. We're all motivated by different things. We all have different needs in our lives. And so I love that each one of you saw Plexus as the answer to what you needed. And those were 2 very different things. So, you know, some of us on this call, we've been with Plexus for 3 or 4 years. We've been through changes. We've been through frustrations. We've had products launched that didn't go according to plan. We've had a software transition that was tough. Even if you've just started, you most likely have experienced a customer starting and quitting before they even got started, or you needed one more ambassador to go silver and then she was going to sign up and she didn't. We all face challenges and frustrations regardless of where we are in our journey. And so I want to know, as you begin to face those changes and those frustrations, can you pinpoint what caused you to feel stuck? I know y'all shared your stories and have been very vulnerable on other pages. And so, you know, I know that the both of you have struggled, and it really resonated with me and where I've been in some parts the past couple of years. And so, you know, I wanted my team to hear that you too have felt that. And so was there something that you could pinpoint that caused you to feel that way?
We can honestly probably pinpoint the exact same moment and the exact same time when things in our team came to a almost shattering halt, if you would say that. And I'll let Tasha feel how she went through it. But it was almost 2 years ago, you all. We've had a struggling 2 years. We have been to breaking points. I've been in tears on the floor where my husband tells me, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through this. But we had some key leaders on our teams completely leave, or completely go totally inactive, to where we were losing more points than we were gaining by the minute. And I'm just being really open with y'all, because I think it's important for you to hear we've all been there. And I don't know if any of you've been there where you feel like you're losing points and things are going backwards and you're not moving forward, and you thought you were going to hit this rank by this time, and really you're just praying to hold on to the rank you have or the rank below that. We've been there. And so we lost some key leaders on our team, and things started to crumble. And for me, honestly, I feel like my arms were like stretched out this wide, and I went into management mode because I was just trying to hold on to everybody I could. I was trying to hold every little piece of our team together for the people who wanted it, and just to help and support them. When in reality, yes, I needed to be doing that, but I also needed to be working my personal business. And I kind of let that go to the wayside while I was trying to hold the pieces of the puzzle together. And so it was really challenging. And I'll let Tasha talk, because I know that for her, you know, I'll let you say it because I don't want to steal your.
Well, first of all, Kyndel was probably sane. She was trying to keep me alive and sane.
You and everybody else.
Okay, me and everybody else. But my very best friend that joined me on the 6th day of my journey went Fast Start Gold with me. She was senior Ruby, making probably, I think her biggest check was $4,400 a month. Eventually, just one day, her husband wasn't the biggest supporter, I'll say that. And so to fight him tooth and nail every single day, and then for her sister and some other things to happen, she kind of just said, I can't do it anymore. And so when I found myself, like to this day, she'll say things to me like, I miss Plexus, or I want to do this, or I'm so jealous. And I'm like, stop. I literally went through a divorce with my Plexus business. I mean, it killed me for a whole year. I probably added 10 people total. In life, and a lot of awful things happened to me in life at the same time after losing her, with my dad passing and going on family vacation and tragedy happening after tragedy. And it kind of just got to the point that the beginning of this year, I think it was February, Kyndel and I had a talk, and I was like, I'm going back to work or I'm getting it together. And so a lot of things happened in my business that kind of led me to the point of you're really the only one in control of your business. No matter what happens, no matter if you get knocked down 5,000 times, I remember feeling, how am I going to get through this? How can I pick myself up and give myself to other people whenever I was struggling and feeling so defeated? And so, oh, sorry. My son did that. I don't know where I'm at. Oh, I'm not muted. So those were kind of some points in my journey that I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. But you just kind of pull through.
And I'll say too, for Tasha and I, it took us having a conversation to pull both of us back together and say, we're going to lock arms together like we did in the beginning. And if we're starting with 5 people, we're starting with 5 people. But we're going to pull what we have and work with what we have. And the people that want to work, we're going to work. And we went to Jules training, and that was kind of our time together to do that.
Well, and I want to add one tip to that. Because I think all of us, no matter where we're at in our journey, if we're gold, we all have these people on our team that we know would be amazing, or we know would be great, but we cannot want it for them more than they want it for themselves. So Kyndel and I both, we took 1 month, we reached out to them and we're like, hey, we think you'd be amazing for X, Y, and Z. And we poured into them for 1 month. And I have one girl from that whole list that is still sharing the business. And so we basically were like, let's try one more time. And if they don't, they don't. And it is what it is. And let's move forward and find that new excitement. So if you have those people on your team that have a great network and you know would be amazing, but they just aren't doing it, just let it rest, because as much as it kills you, you can't want it more for them than they want it for themselves. And there's nothing you can do at that point to make them work for it if they're not going to do it.
And I've heard this a million times. The one thing that's going to get your team into momentum is to build a brand new team. And so that's something Tasha and I really talked about. And so that's what we set out to do. Like she said, we asked people who wanted to go with us. I had 3 in my outside that I started working with. She had, I think, did you have 3 or 4, Tasha, that you started maybe a little group with that month? And we poured into them. I had 1 out of that group that stuck around. The others still order. And that was several months ago. And then now, come January, I've had a few more girls that have been around for a little while, but now they're seeing the momentum and the change, are now saying, hey, I want to try again. And Tasha's had the same experience. And so we just stick them in and see what they'll do. But we weren't waiting for our team to make the change. We had to make the change ourselves.
Well, I love that it was your belief that continued to push you forward, that you did it once before and you knew you could do it again. And so I love that wisdom. I think that's very, very wise. So as you jumped back in and you relaunched and you reorganized and you recommitted, was there one thing that really influenced your work or activity? Because you said you had to let the team go and just start focusing on your daily activity and your motivation to start looking for new teammates. So was there one thing, or can you name one thing that influenced you the most in your work?
I would say just link arms with whoever, no matter if it's your downline, your upline, sideline people. I remember there's one specific girl from Texas I've never met in person, but she messaged me one day and was like, suck it up, keep going, do X, Y, and Z. And so I think find yourself with the same people who are working for the same goals as you, or you know are not going to give up and are going to work hard. And I'll laugh about this. There's a couple girls who drive me crazy, and I feel like they're sharks of places. But guess what? They're never going to give up. And so working with them only keeps me motivated. So I would just advise you, align yourself, no matter if it's somebody on Catherine's team or somebody that you look at that you idolize. If you align yourself with people who show up and work every single day, you're going to do the same thing.
Yeah, and get rid of the negative. And I think that was a big thing for Natasha and I. There's negative stuff on our team, negative people, and you know what? I still support them. I encourage them, but that does not mean that every day I have to be pouring into the negative. You have to surround yourself with positive people, and that's also the same for your sidelines or whatever that you're working with. If you've reached out to other people on other teams or whatnot that you're working with, you need to surround yourself with positive, uplifting people that are in it for the long haul and that are motivated to go. And just kind of stay out of the negative, because the negative can pull you down and make you think about all the other negative that's going on. But when you stay positive, it's going to help build you and lift you up.
So is there anything you do daily that has made the biggest difference in you recommitting and relaunching? Like, what have you seen the most to be the most benefit as you've moved forward?
I tell my team, do the work on the days you don't want to do the work, because if I'm being vulnerable and honest, like, I don't want to send the messages daily. Or there's days where I'm like, I want to be lazy, like, especially around that time of the month, if I'm being honest, that I'm just like extra tired and I don't want to do the work. I would set up a system that works for you, depending on what your schedule is like. Do you work from home? Do you work a full-time job? If that's getting 10 messages out a day and 3 or 5 follow-ups, I don't care if you're laying in bed and you don't have anything else to give. Send the messages, put the volume on mute, and reply to whoever replies to you the next day. Because you don't have to. That was my worst thing. If I saw a little red icon on my phone, I felt like I had to reply to them instantly or they were going to disappear. What I have learned is they will be there. It will be okay. If you've had the craziest day, just do something. So whatever your system is, life is crazy. It's going to throw curves at you. Just do something. And I think that just being disciplined with what you do daily is going to be what helps you get to the next level. And that's the only difference between Diamonds and us, you all, is they've heard more no's and they've done the work when we didn't want to. I mean, essentially, that's the truth.
I would say for me, it's very similar to Tasha. You have to put in the work. And so something I've done, and I know Tasha has done this too, but this keeps me motivated. So I'm going to try to turn my computer and just show you on my board real quick. Excuse my desk. It's kind of a mess. Okay, I don't know if you all can. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Can you all see it? Okay, so I have this board, and it keeps me motivated. So it has what I need for convention credits to hit that top prize, because you better believe I'm pushing for that top prize, and I have a reason for that, and I can share if you want. But it has everything I need up there so I can mark it off, because I'm very visual and I'm very type A, and so I need to see it, and I want to check it off the list. I also have all my team's goals. Now, you all, when we started doing this, and Tasha can vouch for this, I had like 1 or 2 people that were telling me their goals. And this is as an emerald, you all, and this is my upper levels. I have lots of lower levels that are growing too, but this is my upper 1 through 3s. But now I have their goals all written over here, so I know exactly what they're working towards and how I can encourage them and support them. Because for me and my business, I need to be encouraging them and supporting them, but also working right along with them. So you better believe that if somebody has a goal to get 5 level 1s this month, my goal is going to be to at least get 5 level 1s too, because I want to be right there along with my team, rocking just as they're rocking. And so, you if Tasha's pushing for what's your goal this month? 8 level 1s or whatever I have up here on my board. I'm pushing for 8 level 1s too. I mean, I have up here on our board, we're both pushing for 40 outside leg new people. So I have 40 spots for both of us, and I mark them off as Tasha and I add them. So I use that to keep myself motivated to say, okay, this is my goal for the month. This is where I'm going to end. Now I have to do the work to get there. And so that includes reaching out and following up daily. Those are the only 2 things, y'all, that are really true IPA. Yes, you have to do personal growth. And I'll tell you all, what I do personally is I'll stick a video on while I'm sending messages to somebody, so that I'm listening to stuff and sending messages at the same time. And it just fills my cup. And so I'm always constantly pouring in and learning new things. But your number 1 and number 2 things have to be reaching out and following up. If you're not doing those 2 things, then you're not going to get anywhere. The second thing, Catherine, I want to add this in there because I think this has really helped me build a new network. And this might be something some of you are struggling with too if you've been around for a long time. Because when you've been around for 4 years, your network kind of feels like you're like, okay, who else do I reach out to, or where do I go to next? And so something I started over the summer in some mom groups, I would say, and Catherine, this will be perfect for you with the baby, because all my baby mom groups, this is where I've done it. But I started doing little workout groups. So I would comment, do like a little post in the group, and I'd say, hey mamas, I'm looking for some other moms that are wanting to be an accountability partner for me to do a squat challenge this month. Who wants to join me? And you all have like 50 or more people comment. And I'll do it in a couple of groups. And now I have this Mama's Getting Fit group where I put them all in each month. So they have to add me as a friend on Facebook. Then I put them in the group. And then I find like a workout group on Google or whatever. It's nothing too fancy. And I make a little graphic for each day and I post it. And I just cheer them on in the group. And so I started doing this in the summer. I took a break when I had the baby and then picked it back up about 6 weeks postpartum when I could start exercising again. But I've added so many mamas from those groups as customers and ambassadors, and they're some of my fastest growing ambassadors right now, are from these groups. And so I started doing that, and it has expanded my network in so many ways. So if you feel like your network is running out too, that's something you can do. And so I invest in those groups daily so that I can continue to grow and build that network to bring in new people to help me grow my business. So
I love that even 4 and 5 years later, there are still people, y'all hear me, there are still people who need our products, and still people that are desiring the financial freedom, whatever that looks like for them, whether it's $500 a month for a car payment, or it's so they can drop a nursing shift, or it's so they can quit and be home with their babies. The people are still out there. And so Natasha and Kyndel both are testaments to that they have completely reinvented themselves and their businesses, and they're moving forward and they're growing. And I think it's so encouraging and motivating to all of us that people are still out there to connect with, to share with, and to inspire. And lastly, because we're at the 9 o'clock mark and I want to be respectful on your Sunday night, Kyndel and Natasha, are you girls reading anything specifically right now that has encouraged you? Or do you have plans to start something soon?
So we do a book study call, and we have gone back to old school. So last month we did Rock Your Network Marketing, and I'm sure a lot of you read that in the beginning. It was the very first book I read, but it was so much fun to reread it and do it with newbies on my team. This month we're reading GoPro, and so that's something you've probably read before too. But you all rereading it and seeing like, hey, these things work. Like, this is what worked in the beginning. This is what worked for me when I got started. Why am I not still looking at this stuff and using it now? And so this is what we're reading this month, and our team's eating it up and loving it. So yeah, we've been going back old school and doing some of the books from when we started, because guys, it worked when we started, so it's going to work again for these newbies. So, yeah, that's what we've been reading.
Well, and Kyndal's very type A, so she keeps me very in line, I'll be honest, because I don't love reading. But that is what we're reading now. But I will say, when I needed to regroup and figure out like my why, the book, I hate saying this so loud because it's embarrassing, but the book Get Over Your Damn Self, like, it breaks down your why, and it pushes you to figure out why you're doing this. And it's just gonna break you down, and it's just so good. So if you are at a place in your business, what am I doing? Do I want to keep going? I'm stuck. Do some self-love type books and just figure out what your why is and dig deep and pour into yourself, because whoa, sorry, I found out that you just can't pour, I'm sorry, into others if you aren't at that good place. So that would be my tip. Sorry, it's bedtime.
You're in good company. When I 10 years, was it 10 years ago? Yeah, 10 years ago, when I was going through a really tedious interview process for my interior design position at the Children's Hospital here in Little Rock, one of the last steps of the interview was a panel interview. And it was with like 8 people, executives in the hospital that I would potentially be working with if I got that job offer. And the last question they asked me was, what are you reading right now? And it just kind of totally threw me for a loop. But guys, leaders and growth comes from constantly reading and hearing from others. So if it was important for an interior designer at a children's hospital and those leaders saw that it was important, then you better believe that as a small business owner who's dealing with messy people and relationships and emotions, that it's so important to constantly be reading and reevaluating and pouring that positivity into your life. So if you're not reading something, think about what you could add to your nightstand this month. Kyndel and Natasha, thank you. I feel encouraged. I feel inspired. I think sharing journeys is one of the greatest blessings of Plexus. And you have enriched me tonight, and I appreciate your time. And I'm excited to hear feedback from you girls as we work towards the end of the month. Y'all, we have like 11 days left. So let's finish strong, and remember that we are sharing and building relationships. And I think Natasha and Kyndel both spoke to that. And I was reminded of that today. I reconnected with a childhood friend over a biscuit recipe. And Plexus didn't come up, but I was just so excited to hear from her and talk to her. And Plexus may not ever come up. It might, I don't know. But just through my efforts of rebuilding relationships and committing to friendships, we had an incredible conversation. And so always be looking for the lives that you can add value to. So thank you. Good night. Enjoy your day off tomorrow if your kids are home, and stay warm.